Hi, my name is Sean Olson. Today's lesson is how to make tileable bitmaps from your photos. It's something that I've seen a lot of people asking about how to do, and most of the information in that is only giving you information how to do that in other programs, but I'm going to show you how to do it straight inside of 3ds Max. So to start off, we're going to copy this plane, and we're going to apply a UVW map. We're going to choose planar for it. And we're going to increase the tiling. I'll type this to 2 and this to 2. And now you can see as this tiles, the seam between these is not seamless. You can see this very sharp line right here that you can tell that this picture is multiple chunks here. It doesn't look like it all goes together smoothly. So what we're going to do here is create a seamlessly tiled texture from this photo. So for us to get in here and start making this tileable, we'll need to do a couple things. We want to open this material editor. We're going to use Slate, which is part of the latest versions of Max, and I'm going to pick this material. The next thing I need to do, just like I did with this copy, I need to apply a UVW map to this object here. What I now need to do is, in the modifier stack, open up the UVW map and go to the gizmo. When I have the gizmo selected, I'm going to have snaps on here, and if you don't have the grid on, you can also do snap to vertex. If we do this, we want to drag it straight to the corner. It doesn't really matter which corner you use, but the gizmo center has to be aligned to one of these corners. So I'm just going to snap it up here. And we can get out of the gizmo. And now you see the alignment of this is different. It doesn't look the same here, although it looks like there's 4 tiles. We just moved the placement of the center of the UVW map. Well, the next stage here is only for those of you who have 3ds Max 2011 and up. And really that's the focus of this video here, because you can't really do exactly what I'm going to do in older versions. We're going to open up the Viewport Canvas. It's in Tools and Viewport Canvas. Once we have that open, we can choose what's called the Clone tool. The Clone tool, when we click it, we'll want to paint on our diffuse map, the bitmap we have here. You can now alt-click a point on your bitmap that you will then start painting elsewhere. I'm going to click here, and now what I want to do is get rid of the seams between these 4 places. Try to pick, alt-click here, pick something that looks slightly similar over here. What you want to do is just kind of paint away these seams that you see along here. It takes some practice to kind of get the idea of what you might need to do this, but once you get the hang of it, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm alt-clicking, picking a new point. You got to watch out for places like this right here where you can see the repeating patterns too easily, but we'll get rid of that here in a moment. Pick something that looks similar to this up here, put that down there. Just kind of paint away the seams between these. Now, this photo may not necessarily be the best in the world because some of it's in sharp focus, whereas some of it is not in sharp focus. But that doesn't really matter for the purpose of showing you how this works. So I alt-clicked, picked a point, now I'm copying that point wherever I go. And we just keep on doing this until that seam is gone. And you might want to try to make it so that the places that are out of focus in this example are replaced with pieces that look slightly more focused. Alright, it's getting close to what we want here. Now you want to be careful not to paint along the outside edges because those edges are already tiled. For example, you'll see right here where this little dark streak comes out over here, the same thing ends over here on this side. So if I paint along the edge here, that tiling will be destroyed. Alright. Now you will see that because of different areas, this is darker than this. This is light and this is dark. This is a little bit more saturated. That's a little desaturated. So you'll have to play around with it to get it exactly how you want it. And that's just the part of the process of getting it to look how you want. But I'm going to just leave it at this. So when we're done here, and you can see there's the original one, which has these seams. As soon as I'm done, keep an eye, I'm going to right click, and now you'll see now over here, immediately, because that was the same bitmap, it is now tiling seamlessly. You can't see the tiles. So if we go over here and change the tiling, we can keep on increasing this over and over. Now you will see the patterns repeat if you tile it too highly, but the whole point of this is to allow you to tile this seamlessly, and you don't have to worry about it not looking correct for your needs. And this is really important for certain types of materials on things in games like walls and floors and things like that you want to reuse the texture over very large areas. I'm going to show you just a little bit further of something. It's not directly related to this, but it's just kind of a taking it further thing. We're going to create a new plane. Let me turn my grid on here. I'll make it that size. And I want to add a UVW map, a planar one again. And it's there. Okay. So we want to take the same material we already had and apply that to this. And our UVW map for this one, we want to give this a little bit higher tiling. We're going to do 3 on 3. Alright. We also need to give this plane some more detail. If I turn edge faces on, there's only 4 edges on here. So I'm going to go back down to the plane level. And I'm going to pump this up really high. I'm going to pump this up to 300 and 300. Now the polygon count here is huge, but that's fine for the purpose of what I'm about to show you. You can take your tileable textures and use them for several purposes, including modeling a wall or a landscape. And even then later taking your textures and baking them in more interesting ways. And you can use this for groundwork for more complex models that you'll then customize and make it not so repetitive. So what we're going to do here, we're going to select our plane. We're going to go and add a displace modifier. And for this, we're going to take the bitmap that we've already got here, not the material, but the bitmap, and we're going to drag this over to the map slot of the displace. I'm going to instance that. And I also want to go down here and tell it to use the existing mapping channel, which is this UVW map for channel 1. Now, I'm going to go at an angle here so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go back up here to the strength of this displace map, and I'm going to bring up the number, drag it up. Let's go to 10. So now you'll see that this plane is now deforming to the shape of that texture. And it may not be deforming in the exact way you want. You may want these to go up instead of down. You can change things like that. You can go and say -10 and it will go the other direction. And now certain colors are going up and certain colors are going down. Now this is pretty jagged here because we didn't have enough resolution, but when you have it kind of similar to what you want, let's make this -20. We can then go and add something like a turbo smooth, and it will look kind of like more like a landscape here, but you could use this for the premise for making a wall or something, and since it's already textured with the shape, that's kind of convenient. You can then later go and edit it and sculpt this however you want and customize it. But it's a real quick way to make a tileable landscape that you can then have the textures match the landscaping itself. So that's just taking it further a little bit. It's really not directly related, but you can see, just give you some ideas here of things you can do with some of these tools. My name is Sean Olson. You can find more about me at my website, seanolson.net, and you can find various tools that I've built for the Source game engine and 3ds Max at wallworm.com. Hope you've learned something here, and I look forward to hearing from you in the forums. Thank you, and have a good day.